on 95.3 FM in Windhoek, Desert Radio. The Bold Voice.
It is 7:32 on the clock, and we told you we're going to be joined by a special guest in studio. He is the newly appointed manager of communications of Old Mutual Foundation, and he also served as the PRO of NWR. He's a radio personality and has a master's degree in journalism. I'm talking about none other than Mufaro Nesongano. How are you doing, Mufaro?
No, I was like wondering, what are you talking about? Like, like that doesn't sound like me.
Oh, wow.
No.
Who's this other guy that's coming in the studio?
Who's this guy?
No, seriously. I feel kind of humbled when you,
Oh, then it means I did a good job with introducing you, hey? If you're humbled, I mean, come on. I think all of us grew up listening to you on the radio back in the day.
Are you trying to make me feel old?
No.
Like, are you really trying to make me feel old?
There's no way I can ever make you feel old with, oh my goodness, no.
No, I'm like wondering, like, grew up? Like, what do you mean, like, you grew up?
Okay, let me say when we were in universities and those
something
things.
like that. I think that sounds a bit better.
How are you doing this morning?
No, I'm doing great. And congratulations. Like,
thank you.
This is big. Like, real big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank
There's
you.
a radio. Imagine.
Yeah, we're trying to, do things, shift some things in the industry and, bring ourselves up there. The bold voice.
Yeah.
Definitely. It's good to have you here in studio with us so early in the morning, like I just did in your introduction. Obviously, we know you're a busy man and we know you've got work to do, but nonetheless, you graced us with your presence this morning. And we just really want to get to know Mufaro a little bit more. We want to get behind the persona of who is Mufaro Nesongano.
Yo, that's a heavy question. Where do I start? Like, how far back can I go?
Oh, now who's trying to make who feel old?
No, I'm trying to wonder so that I know where to place
No, we
myself.
want to know everything.
Okay, I'm originally from Zimbabwe. I came to Namibia with my parents. That is 93. So I studied in the north for 2 years.
I almost said something of 93, but I'll just...
I was in the north for like 2 years, learned a bit of Oshiwambo. I still can recall a bit. Then I went back to Zim. Then I came back to Namibia, finished my high school here, started university. Then in my fourth year, I thought I wanted to be a billionaire. Those guys that drop out. So I dropped out of UNAM. Thinking that I'd make it. That didn't quite work out. But in between there, I was busy doing radio and emceeing and also running a company called Gentleman's Club where we used to hire sound equipment, used to throw parties. Then I formally decided, I need to go back to school because my mom had been on my case, like, you just have to do something. So I started at NUST in 2009, did that for 3 years. Then I got my bachelor's. After that, I started at NBIC, which is Namibia Business Innovation Center. I think there I learned about, the importance of innovation and also about small enterprises, like, the role that they play. I did that for less than 2 years. Then after that, joined NWR. I was there for like 7.5 years.
Wow.
Then the past 2 weeks, I officially joined Old Mutual.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you.
I will say though that I'm gonna miss you at NWR because you made my job very easy as a journalist.
Wow.
You were always accessible, always ready to answer questions. So I hope whoever's taking over has that same spirit.
No, I think they would.
Big shoes to fill there.
No, they should come with their own shoes. Seriously, don't even try. Come with your own shoes. Yeah.
Listen, let's wind back the clock a bit.
Yes.
You said you dropped out of school, right? University.
Yes.
Do you regret that?
When I look back, I think at that particular point, I didn't. But obviously, when you have grown up a bit, you'd say, if I just finished that particular course, because I was studying business administration, and I was in my fourth year with like 4 subjects or so to finish, it could have helped me to have the paper. Not that I didn't gain the knowledge, but people would be like, okay, where's the degree? So that's one thing that I really feel, if I just stuck it through, man, I could have at least said it.
Because you're just at the end.
Yeah, I was at the end.
Yeah.
But at times, it's a journey that you can't complete because you've really exhausted all possibilities of you trying to go as far as you would want to. So that was one of those things that I say, that's life. And what else can you do?
Exactly.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, Mufaro, I wanted to ask you, moving away from your academics and what you've achieved,
Yes.
just as a person who you are, I know you're an avid gymmer, no? I've come to learn that during your lunch hour, you you go to the gym.
Okay. No wonder.
You go to the gym. So would you say that you're like a fitness buff?
Here's a crazy part. I really started going to the gym when I was at Centaurus, because by then Virgin Active was just, basically down the road. and I was chubby. So I felt like,
You were chubby?
How come we don't remember that, Mufaro?
No, I was chubby. Like, this is 2012, 13.
Were you on radio that time? So we didn't see you.
If you, how far back? Like what? UNAM radio was 2003. Yeah, somewhere there. So even from university.
Yeah.
But so I started going to the gym, but that was just simply, bored, like there's nothing to do. Then about 2012, 13, I said, you know what, I really need to shed down weight and also just become a bit more health conscious. And that's how I ended up, becoming such a dedicated gym payer. And I need to say that because I recall asking them to give me a bag that I've been here for so long. They're like, no, we can't give you a bag. You need to sign up. But like, guys, I've been here for so long. Come on.
I just want a bag.
I just want a bag. Like, just a bag.
I'm loyal.
But there's no loyalty there. There's no loyalty there. But I really say it's one of the things that has kept me sane because I realize it even like, especially now, if you're not staying fit, especially with what we went through over the close to 2 years, you needed to do something just to take the stress away because it was too much. Like we're just going through too much. And usually when I go to the gym, I say that is like my piece of serenity. I listen to hip hop and I'm listening to all the things that I cannot listen to anywhere else because this. So I'll be like, yeah. So I get into the zone. That's the thing that really keeps me sane.
Okay.
Yeah.
And outside of the gym, what else do you do for peace of mind?
I walk a lot. So sometimes you can see me walking around the streets. I'm not crazy or anything like that. It's just me just walking. Yeah, because you'd see me like so far away. Like, but Mufaro, you live this side. What the hell are you doing? It's just really one of those things that I get to appreciate the fresh air, appreciate life. I tend to walk, especially close to the Pioneers Park Cemetery, because I'm always baffled.
So what distances do you cover?
10, 15 kilometers.
Okay.
Because I always say, when you look at life and you look at those that have passed on, and there are like dreams there that were unfulfilled. So each time I walk past that, it reminds me that I need to stick on this journey. Because there's some people that they didn't get to finish their journey. So
that's a very important thing. I always say to people, if you really want to humble yourself and, you want to, if you're going through whatever in your life and you just need to sit down for a moment, go to the cemetery and just take a walk through there. It'll really put things right into perspective for you.
True.
And I love that you say that you walk, because I do that sometimes too. And people are always like, well, Zan, where are you walking to? And I remember at my old work, I would walk from there all the way to where I stay. And almost that's now in Pioneers Park, and that's a whole distance. But it does really like give you peace of mind, and you get to be in your own thoughts, lost in your own thoughts.
Yes. Yeah. No, so walk.
That's the advice from Mufaro, walk. You said you're into hip hop.
Yes.
What else do you like to listen to?
Of late, I've been loving the Nigerian vibe. They got some really great music. Afro pop. I'm not into Amapiano. It's a vibe that I still cannot quite get. I was just telling somebody the other day, one of the reasons why I feel being on radio now is so difficult because I don't understand the music. You play a song and somebody's like, "What the hell are you playing?"
Yeah, you're like, "I don't know
dude,
this.
This is old." And you're like, "No, this is what used to rock." So Kwaito here, but I love local music. I'm a huge. I think back, I recall having an interview with Gaza. It was in 2003, 2004.
Yeah.
And he had just come out with his first album, is it Tanauka? But I forgot. But yeah, one of his first was
Stoff Love Chikapute.
No, way before that.
Way before that.
Okay. And this guy was like, I'm a new artist. Think about it, Gaza now.
Yeah.
New artist. And I'm trying to do this thing. And that interview, each time I think back, I'm like, just look at his journey now. And you think about the dog as well. And Sunny Boy, all these guys, when they started, that's when we were also just starting as well in radio. So we saw this whole transformation take place.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Actually, what are your thoughts on that? Like, having watched this transition over the years, how do you think our music industry is faring?
In the beginning, I think we were hungry and we were doing whatever it took to make it. I think maybe things have changed because obviously there are more digital platforms, so you don't feel that hype like when a CD drops or when a single is hot, because there's so many platforms that this song can be playing. But you knew if it was hot, it would be on radio and every station. You'd recall there's a time that one song will be playing on every station.
Every
what
station.
the hell is going on?
You're like, the song must be it.
Yes. So I think that part, I miss that. But the new guys also bring a different dimension because they're able to be on any and every platform. So you need to just go with it, go with the flow. You can't fight it. You can't fight change.
Yeah.
On that, I mean, since you've been in radio for the longest time as well, look, radio has also transitioned. You know, some people are also like doing podcasts now, and radio is becoming a bit more. You know, they're moving to the digital age.
Yes.
I mean, look at us now. We are live on Facebook as well.
Imagine that.
How do you think radio has transitioned, and are you pleased with the transition?
You know, radio has always been a very touchy topic to me because it's very personal. In that, I recall being at. Can I mention radio station names?
Sure.
No, I just want to make sure.
By all means.
So in 2007, there was a new station called Fresh FM, and for us, that was like the youth station of the day. We thought we knew it all. We were trying things. When I look over the years, what has happened, this is now 14 years down the line, I like this kind of radio because it's more interactive. I get to experience not only by listening to you, but by seeing you, but also being able to interact with you. Because I think 2007, Facebook was roughly 1 year old.
Yeah, just started.
Just
a year
started,
old.
yeah.
But you're currently on the platform, and you can go live. You can do so much more than you could. Even like you're talking about the podcast. If I didn't catch the show, I can listen to it later on. Those opportunities meant you either had to record it, or you just had to listen. But this has allowed us the ability to still remain relevant long past after we've left the station. So I think it's very impressive.
Do you miss radio?
Oh yes. I like
Mufaro.
No, it's really my first love. There was a time where you really didn't have much.
Yeah.
Especially you're not earning that much. But when you get on air and you get the callers,
The satisfaction of the listeners, man.
And they'll be telling you like, no, we love the show, or we love the topic that you were talking about, and you're like, wow, you know, this is all worth it. Even though I'm getting like $2,000, this is really just worth it.
It's worth it all the way.
It's worth it because it's not all about the money. It's about you as a person. Do you get that satisfaction when you're on air, and do the listeners get that satisfaction when they're listening to you? And I miss that part. I mean, look, corporate is good.
Yeah.
It does, you know what it does, but there's that missing part. Yeah.
But you weren't so long. You were just on air also just the other day.
No, the problem with that on air was, you know, those things are like. It's a comeback,
like a teaser.
but those comebacks don't always quite work out because time has moved on. I realize, you know, time has moved on.
Yeah.
And I really just need to come to terms with it that, time has moved on.
Do you have to come to terms with it, though? Can't you do a little bit of both?
Yeah.
Why must it be so definitive and boxed?
The challenge is I want to be free on air. And here I'm going and talking my own things, then tomorrow like, Mufaro, what are we doing? Like,
we understand the struggle.
Yeah, so you need to now make your choice. You can't have it both ways. So you need to just simply say, you know what, let me just rather listen and support. I've been meaning to do a podcast for that. I know my friend Deshi is like, Mufaro, we need to do this thing. But when the time is right, I'll finally get to do that podcast. I really feel things happen at the time that they need to happen. So I shouldn't force it. It will happen when it needs to happen. So that's the next thing that I would love to do.
My last radio question.
Yes. Okay.
Look, I see you speak with so much passion about radio, right? I think I share the same passion.
Yeah.
I grew up listening to, you know, your Bob Mapenas, internationally Howard Stearns, your DJ Freshers, all those guys. Who are your sort of radio heroes?
You know,
locally and internationally.
Locally, BK. I think he was brilliant. Tashia, Segment. I used to listen to their shows. Who else do I recall locally? Cutie, Ilka.
Cutie,
I always loved their shows. Lomo.
Yeah.
Lomo the Prince.
Yes.
He really rocked. Who else?
Nostalgia right here.
Right. CJ, the partner that I had, Maps as well. I did a show with Maps at Energy. Who else did I do a show with? Those were guys that, even Josie, I think Josie he somehow found his niche, like always evolving and reinventing himself. Internationally, DJ Spoo.
Yes.
I think Spoo, what I recall listening to this man's show, and I was saying to myself, my man, this dude he was the embodiment of being an entertainer, but you're also a hustler. At the same time, you're remaining relevant in so many spaces where by then, I didn't understand how he was doing it.
Yeah, and Spoo was part of the generation that like broke the rules of radio as well.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
He did something, I would say, if we could have replicated that, I really believe, even as Namibian radio personalities, we could have gotten so much more than, I would say the deals that we're getting, for me personally, are not what we should be getting. We should be getting more because we speak to an audience and we keep people entertained. we keep stations alive. Like, honestly speaking, there must be more that we're getting. But
Just say that again.
are the bosses listening?
Yeah, just for the bosses in the back listening.
No, but
Just to
really.
make sure. Okay, Mufaro, you're one of the few people in the country that has bridged the gap between, being an entertainer, an MC, a radio presenter, and also working in the corporate world. Sometimes this is very difficult for artists and entertainers in Namibia. What advice would you give for them to sort of bridge their gap into the corporate world?
What advice? I would say your reputation is central to it all. Your integrity. You got to be honest. Be a person of your word. I mean, in the different spaces that I've operated, what's so crazy is myself and Weya. Oh yeah, she was also a presenter that I'm of note.
Where, yes.
We're the first Nama presenters. 2011. Here's the crazy part. These pants that I'm wearing, I wore them at the Namas.
Oh, wow.
So they're that old. And it was at a point where we didn't know what our future held. We were basically starting off. And over these years, because we remained true to who we were, we didn't try to pretend. In any space that we ended up operating in, people knew that we were being genuine. It's like either don't try and force people to like you.
Yes.
I mean, they're just those that just would never like you, no matter whether you smile with them, no matter what you try to do, they just wouldn't. But if you remain true to yourself, there are those that will be like, you know what? I like this person. And I think they're genuine. I think I can relate to it. And that's really what it is. Don't try to be everything to everybody. You will never win that battle.
Awesome advice there from
advice.
Mufaro. I hope you're taking notes.
I've lived a bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
I'm curious to know, if you do go into podcasting, what would you want to focus your podcasting around? What would the chat be?
The realities of life. I think there's so much to speak around that. I'm a father to a 7-year-old, and that little guy, MJ. He gives me my fair share of gray hair, even though I don't have hair. But he. I was telling a colleague yesterday that they teach us more about ourselves than we ever can think about, because they really push you to the edge. And I think those realities we don't get to speak about. Talk about whether it's marriage, we talk about relationships, just life in general. There's so much. If I was to sit down and we to have a conversation, there's so much that I can learn from you that probably if we never have this conversation, I'll never know. And so many times we miss that. We always just, hey, hi, but never sit down and say, let's just have a conversation.
Let's
There's
chat.
so much. Let's chat. Let's just find out more about each other. And this is the reason why journalism has been so central to me, because it's an opportunity to be inquisitive, to be curious, and to ask the questions that
It's
nobody
the
wants.
7-year-old boy in you.
Yeah. Why?
Dad, why?
Yeah, you're reminding me. Yeah.
All the time, Dad. Wow. I'd love to sit down and chat with Mufaro all day and just get to know more, because you see, now we're learning so much more from him. But unfortunately, our time has run out.
One more question.
Okay.
One
One
more
more
question.
question.
That's one more
John
question.
Colin.
Very, very important question.
Yes.
We ask this to all our guests before they leave. If you were stuck in the desert,
Yes.
what
Okay.
are the 5 things that you take with you?
Okay, the first is water. Water is life. Second, would be my phone, and not for any other purposes, but to listen to podcasts.
Okay.
Okay.
The third would be a very good, whether it's cap or hat, to protect myself from the sun. The fourth would be a photo of my family.
Wow.
Oh, wow. That's
So love to mom, brother, son.
Amazing.
And the fifth would be hope to find where there's other people. Because there's no way I'm going to stay in the desert just alone. I want to find people so we can compensate.
That I think this is it's the most different answer we've ever
Yes,
gotten from all the guests.
Yeah.
Because we ask the guests this all the time. They're
And
like,
always being tangible stuff.
Yeah.
This is the first sort of intangible we've got.
Amazing. That's beautiful. Thank you
Wow.
so much, Mufaro, for joining us in studio this morning. It was lovely just chatting to you and just getting to know you a bit.
No, thank you.
I hope we didn't put your age out there.
We're young. We're
We are-
just 21.
we are forever young.
We're just 21.
We are forever young. Black don't crack. We know this.
It's all true.
Yes, we know this. So we wish you're going to have an awesome day and a splendid week, of course, and hopefully you'll join us again in studio.
No, certainly. If you invite me, I'm like I say, congratulations, and I wish you all the best. Please, do what you were meant to do, which is break boundaries and shake this industry a bit.
There we
Thank
go.
you so much.
There we go. We're about to shake foundations. This is Breakfast in the Desert. That was Mufaro Nesongano joining us in studio. Keep it locked. CJ is going to come up with your sports highlights in just a little bit.